Hey, what's up? It's David Palmer, the Leo King, and I'm here with Jamie Schwabl. Welcome to spiritualhousemusic.com. Jamie, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you because this whole network is about going deeper behind the music, deeper behind house music, and I picked you because you're so deep. I mean, you're a burner, you're at all these great shows, and you're really doing it for a cause. I feel this spiritual presence with you, and that's why I picked you today.
Well, thank you. That means a lot.
So my first question is, whenever you hear the term house is a spiritual thing, what does that mean to you?
It's the truth. It's everything that I'm doing. Music for me is such a spiritual thing. I grew up playing the drums and as a musician and ballerina and dancer. It's been a part of my life always, but going to my first show and seeing, a well done electronic show where, from the DJ and the music to the lighting and the setup and the venue and everything just being done proper, experiencing that feeling for the first time, it changed me, and it hit me deep. And later on in life, after being a part of the scene for so long, it was natural once I put my two first tracks together.
That's such a great feeling. How would you describe the feeling? Because it's a feeling, it's deep, it's intense.
It really makes me feel connected, when I have a set that I put so much time into, when I spend time creating this journey and picking out the perfect tracks and then performing and doing it right, and it can never be the same thing twice, even if you play the same set, it can never sound exactly the same. So it's really kind of like you're feeling the energy of the room, you're doing what you have planned, but you're connecting with people, and I always have butterflies before I go on, and they're intense the day of a gig, and they don't go away until I put the first track on, and then I take the ride, and when it's all over, it's like I'm content. It's like all the other stuff, all the crazy hard work and all the politics and just commercial music versus underground music, it's all worth the struggle, and it's all worth it all.
So Jamie, how would you define your soul?
That is a big question, but I consider myself an old soul, definitely, but I'm always growing. I'm always, trying to evolve and constantly learn and connect with people, and I think that that's what life is about, is connecting with others, and that's what I try to do through my music, and, try to fulfill my destiny in this lifetime and get to where I'm supposed to be at.
Well, you are a Capricorn. I'm a big astrologer, and
yeah.
It really is all about the destiny and achievement. What would you say your main achievement is with your music?
I think getting it out there is my main achievement for right now, because it's been something that's been so personal for such a long time, and then becoming a DJ and sharing mixes and music and things, that begins the connection. But then writing something which is so raw and so you and so from the heart, and sharing it with someone is a big thing, and to share and get a positive result is definitely a special thing. And now I've started the record label with some of my closest friends, and we're ready to take this journey this year and expose all of our music and really share what we have inside and the message that we have to send to everyone.
I would say you have a big message. When I met you, you were all about your music at a real young age. I mean, you've been doing this how long now?
Almost 10 years, yeah. I mean, music's been a part of me since I was a kid. I started playing the drums at 12 years old, and piano, and it's all, even dance, starting off as a ballerina before I was even a year old. It's musical, it's movement, it makes me feel at peace and at ease.
And about all your friends, you're very connected to a lot of circles, a lot of groups, but just recently you started a Wolfpack, correct?
Wolfpack is something that just started. It's a group of very close artists and DJs and other types of artists too, not just musicians, but it actually started at a festival, and we all have been on our personal journeys with our music and our own careers, but we feel like a pack, and we started howling one night together and that's where it started, and it was born, and now we've planted the seed, and we've made it a record label, and we have tracks that are set to release in March. We've started a podcast already that we're uploading a mix every 3 weeks, and
right on.
We're taking over. We've got some really amazing artists, and we're all spiritual, you know, we're all big festival DJs, and we love incorporating spirituality and astrology and art and music and nature, you know, all of it together. It all goes together.
Yeah, what would you say are some techniques of how you bridge spirituality to your house music? Is there things you do in your music or the way that you play your set? Is there some sort of ritual you do before you do your set? Go into that with me.
I mean, there's definitely certain personal rituals that I have, and I mean, one of those is just grounding myself before I go to a show. You know, in order to write music and play music, you kind of have to have your head in the clouds, and you have to be dreaming and envisioning something. But in order to make it happen, you have to be grounded. So I think that's a big thing, is, you know, always trying to bring that grounding energy from the earth and still keep your head a little bit out in the clouds and dreaming and having that vision. So it's a big thing. And, you know, I have things around me, little symbols and things that remind me just of, you know, to stay grounded and stay humble and remind me why I'm doing it. It's not to be a famous person or a performer. It's to connect with people and to share beauty and art and, you know, give people an experience. At Burning Man, you know, I played 12 gigs, and all of our Wolfpack was all over the playa playing, and it's, you know, we couldn't make it to everybody's show, but you know you're gonna share what you have inside, and somebody, whoever's there, it's whoever's meant to be there, you know.
Yeah,
you're meant to touch that. Yeah, destined to be there. So.
Well, about this grounding, because I could use some help with grounding, trust me. You know, I'm all this fire energy, and it's very hard for me to ground, but I've always felt that in you intuitively. When I see you up there on the decks, you definitely are very grounded in what you do, and you're very grounded as a person, but you also have this very dreamy state about you, and it's wonderful to watch, and it's wonderful to watch you DJ. I think you're amazing. I think you're a great person. And you know, if we look at the scene today, it's so all over the place. And, you know, where would you put your perception at about the scene today?
I think there's a lot of changes happening, and I think they're happening so fast that even though we have this big commercial, you know, thing going on where it's a lot of aggressive sounds and a lot of repetitive bass lines and things, I think people are getting bored, and, you know, I keep catching more and more people who end up at, you know, a Wolfpack show or an underground deep house show that, you know, maybe ended up there by mistake because it's in Hollywood, and they're there just to go out and hear whatever's playing, and they're caught by the music, or they feel the emotion. You know, I play a lot of really deep bass lines, and, you know, the low end of my tracks it's very prominent and I guess a little masculine, but then I like to balance it out with the real, you know, ethereal sounds and, you know, uplifting pads and synths, and, you know, I like to go for the balance, I guess, in the music as well. And I think that when you go out to a club and you go out to hear music, you know, what's going to keep you there you might not even be aware of. You know, you kind of want to get there and settle in and take the ride. And I think that the music that we're making and playing, and a lot of the big artists, you know, like the Desert Hearts Festival was huge this year for the underground music scene, bringing out all these incredible producers who are, you know, doing it the same way I believe. A lot of them I know personally, but I think you can just tell by the way that they play, or the feeling, you know, that you get when you see them up there. It's real, you know, it's a real connection. It's communicating without words, you know.
Totally.
We're on our way to being telepathic.
I believe so. So what spiritual or music influence have you had in the past that you say inspired you the most?
Well, musically, to start off, I mean, Sasha and Digweed were a huge part of my music career at the beginning. I mean, I really grew up on those guys, and Nick Warren and Dave Seaman, and, you know, it kind of progressed through the Yoshitoshi label. Things got progressive right there, and now, you know, I'm finding more and more that a lot of no-name people that aren't big artists that I, you know, find just sifting through Beatport are the people that are really inspiring me. Really anything that's different and new. It's like I get inspired, I soak it in, I use it, and I kind of move on a little bit, you know, and I still appreciate where I've been and, you know, what it gave to me. I mean, spiritually, that's the same thing too. I mean, there's definitely some certain writings that have really changed me. The Prophet by Khalil Gibran has definitely, I go back to that all the time, just to put me at ease. It's, you know, it's like music to me, really, that book of poems. And, you know, I'm constantly reading and constantly taking things in, and what influences me is what is my truth at that time, what resonates as being a truth for me, because truth is different for everybody, you know. And that's
yeah. Well, what would you say is your main definition of truth?
My personal truth in this lifetime is just learning more and more and creating with people. I think we're in this world to create with people, whether it be art or music or, you know, whatever it is that you give to the world. But truth is a personal thing, though. I think that it's kind of hard to define truth because it's subjective. You know, everybody has their own personal truth, but there are truths of the world, like love and connection, you know, and honesty and passion. Those are things that are truths. But
now I have a personal question. Would you say that music is what opened you up spiritually?
Absolutely, 100%.
And the reason why I asked that is that was my case, and I have a theory that it is the ultimate opener. Mm-hmm. Some people think it's drugs, some people think it's, you know, meditation. For me, it was music, so that's why I asked you that question. How would you describe that experience?
Well, and that's why we get along so well. But for me, I mean, I grew up Catholic in a strict Catholic family, and I definitely appreciate religion. But, you know, it doesn't really teach you to be open-minded, and music's definitely something where when, you know, religion or prayer or reading or writing wasn't working, you know, I could shut everything off and take a journey, and it may be someone's journey that's been feeling my pain before and is turning into something beautiful, because pain is beautiful, sorrow is beautiful, you know, everything is beautiful in its moment if it's teaching you something and connecting you again to the world. And for me, music is something that I can experience when I'm happy, sad, angry, excited, rejoicing, you know, celebrating, and, you know, it's universal, and I have to agree with you on that. I do believe that it is the ultimate opener, and that's why I've been saying for so long with Wolfpack how we want to do things right the first time and every time, and it's not about having these headliners and swanky places. It's about creating a vibe, and that vibe is something that's real and it's spiritual, and, you know, you got to have the right sound system and the right music, and when you end up at a place like that where everyone's doing it right and, you know, bringing light and bringing positivity and bringing a message, it only takes one time, and, you know, and that's where you're saying it's the ultimate opener. It's not something that closes once it's been opened, you know. Right. It's something where it's opened and then you're on the ride, you know.
It's wild.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you're the same way even musically. You know, you get in, and I started on trance and progressive, and then I got excited and I was DJing, and I got into electro a little bit and the more aggressive sounds, and then, you know, you get techie and funky and you start vibing out, and, you know, I think I personally believe that people mature to deep house. Deep house has always been a part of me as well, but it's always been one of those things that's, you know, there, and I listened to on my personal time, but I wasn't playing out in the clubs, and now it's like, you know, why not have this feeling all the time? Deep and funky and soulful and connecting, you know?
So where are you taking your music today? What's this year for you?
This year, I don't want to limit myself and say I'm going to stick to one genre, but right now I'm writing a lot of deep house, a lot of tech house, a lot of minimal actually, and techno, and, you know, definitely trying to get the sounds back to the real analog vintage sounds, less of the digital world. We're trying to do all of our mix downs analog, and trying to use as much analog synths as we can. So, yeah.
What about promotion-wise? You know, you have the Wolfpack.
I also have a side project with Aaron Gonzalez. We do Omphonic, and that is actually a really spiritual thing. Aaron and I met in school, and, you know, I think we were both in the place in our life where we had been writing music and playing music and DJing, but we wanted to express ourselves more, and we were both searching for something, and we met each other in school here in Hollywood, and you know, connected over certain artists, but, you know, once we started working together, we realized that we had something special because we are, I don't know, the way that we write is very spiritual. We decide what the track's going to sound like or what feeling it's going to give you before it's even written. So once it starts, we always joke with each other, we're like, it's writing itself now. The universe is helping us write it because, I mean, even phonic, you know, it's getting centered and connecting to oneness, and then phonic is, you know, putting it into sound. So
how do people get a hold of you?
My Facebook, Jamie Schwabl. You can look us up on Facebook for Wolfpack also under We Are Wolfpack. Phonic we have on Facebook also, and our podcast is the coolest thing right now that we have going on. It's on Podomatic under Wolfpack, and that's Wolfpack with a U.
Oh, yes, like I've seen it. It's a really cool way to spell.
We have the umlaut, so it's Wolfpack, actually,
Wolfpack,
from our German roots.
Ah, well, you know, if you ain't Dutch, you ain't much. You have any websites that people can get a hold of you with?
We have a couple working right now. So the Wolfpack website will be up, and my personal website will be up very soon as well.
So this is my last question as we send off to the world. What's your definition of oneness, or the one, and do you have a final message to tell people out there?
My definition of oneness, it's, I mean, I guess it's what I consider God is, you know, each one of us has the ability through meditation or music or whatever your outlet may be to connect to everything, I think. And I think that, you know, if you have the intention, you can pull from whatever source that you need to for whatever you need in that certain moment. So oneness, I think, is just being quiet enough to shut everything off and then knowing what you want to ask for. And that's how you receive. And my message would just be to everybody keep connecting with each other, and, you know, keep listening to music and keep doing what inspires you. And yeah, just connect with others, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of anything.
Yeah, there's nothing to be afraid of. No fear. Sounds like the Wolfpack's got no fear.
Yeah,
it's a very
bite off more than you can chew, then chew it.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. I like that. Well, your final answer was very Age of Aquarius, which I dig a lot. You know, this connection, the people, the bringing out the inspiration to others, because I truly started this website for that. And it's been an honor to have you, Jamie, not only as a guest, but to be a great friend in my life.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks for having me.
If you want to find out more about Jamie, join us at spiritualhousemusic.com or spiritualdancemusic.com. There you can find archives of our live interviews, live shows, downloads to our SoundCloud. It's awesome. Check us out, spiritualdancemusic.com.